Are you ready to crush the CISA exam and level up IT audit game? You are in the right place. In this video, I have put together 30 high quality CISA practice questions to help you get exam ready with confidence. But we are not just stopping at the answers, we are breaking down key concepts with clear explanation to lock in your understanding. Whether you are just starting out or brushing up for test day, this video will give you the edge you need to succeed. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and join our community of future certified professionals. Let's get started. Question number one: which of the following should be of greatest concern to an IS auditor reviewing an organization's business continuity plan, that is BCP? And the options are: option A, the BCP has not been tested since it was first issued. Option B, the BCP is not version controlled. Option C, the BCP's contact information needs to be updated. And option D, the BCP has not been approved by senior management. And the correct option is option A, the BCP has not been tested since it was first issued. And the explanation for the correct and the incorrect option is: so the greatest concern in a business continuity plan BCP review is whether the plan will actually work in a real disruption. If the BCP has not been tested, there is no assurance that the plan is effective, the staff knows their roles, the recovery process will succeed, and the dependencies are identified correctly. Testing validates the plan's accuracy and practicality. Without it, the organization may fail to recover critical operations during an actual incident. Why not the other options? Option B, not version controlled, important for document management but less critical than testing. Option C, outdated contact information, problematic but usually easy to fix and does not invalidate the plan as a whole. And option D, not approved by senior management. This affects governance and support, but again, lack of testing has a more direct operational effect. Question number two: which of the following is the most effective way for an organization to help ensure agreed upon action plans from an IS audit will be implemented? The options are: option A, ensure ownership is assigned. Option B, test corrective actions upon completion. Option C, ensure sufficient audit resources are allocated. And option D, communicate audit results organization wide. And the correct option is option A, ensure ownership is assigned. So the most effective way to ensure that agreed upon action plans from an IS audit are implemented is to assign clear ownership of each action item. When a specific individual or team is accountable, there is a higher likelihood that the corrective action will be tracked, prioritized, and completed on time. Why not the other option? Option B, test corrective actions upon completion, is important after implementation but does not guarantee implementation will happen. Option C, ensure sufficient audit resources are allocated, affects audit execution, not the follow-up or implementation of action. And option D, communicate audit results organization-wide. It improves awareness but does not enforce accountability. Option 3, which of the following is the greatest risk if two users have concurrent access to the same database record? The options are: option A, entity integrity. Option B, availability integrity. Option C, referential integrity. And option D, data integrity. And the correct option is Option D, data integrity. So when two users access and attempt to modify the same database record at the same time, the greatest risk is that one user's changes may override the others, leading to inconsistent or corrupted data. This is known as concurrency issue and it directly affects data integrity, which ensures the accuracy and consistencies of data over its life cycle. Let's briefly define the other options. Option A, entity integrity, ensures each table has a primary key is and that this key is unique and not null. Option B, data availability integrity is a not a standard term, may be a distractor or misinterpretation. Option C, referential integrity ensures foreign keys correctly reference primary keys in related tables. Question number 4, which of the following would be the most useful when analyzing computer performance? Option A, tuning of system software to optimize resource usage. Option B, operations report of user dissatisfaction with response time. Option C, statistical matrix measuring capacity utilization. And option D, report of off-peak utilization and response time. And the correct option is option C, statistical matrix measuring capacity utilization. So when analyzing computer performance, the most objective and quantifiable data comes from statistical metrics that measure how system resources such as CPU, memory, disk, I/O, etc. are being utilized. These metrics allow for identifying performance bottlenecks, understanding usage trends, and supporting capacity planning and scaling decisions. Why not the other options? Option A, tuning of system software is a solution, not a tool for analysis. Option B, operations report of user dissatisfaction is subjective and less precise. And option D, report of off-peak utilization and response time provides limited insight only for specific times, not a full performance picture. Question number 5, which of the following issues associated with the data center's closed circuit television, that is CCTV surveillance cameras, should be of most concern to an IS auditor? And the options are option A, CCTV recordings are not regularly reviewed. Option B, CCTV records are deleted after 1 year. Option C, CCTV footage is not recorded 24/7. And option D, CCTV cameras are not installed in break rooms. And the correct option is CCTV recordings are not regularly reviewed. So the primary purpose of CCTV in a data center is security and incident detection. If recordings are not reviewed, potential security breaches, unauthorized access, or policy violations could go unnoticed for extended periods, completely undermining the investment in the cameras. This directly impacts the effectiveness of security controls. Question number 6. An IS auditor has been asked to audit the proposed acquisition of new computer hardware. The auditor's primary concern is that option A, a clear business case has been established. Option B, the new hardware meets established security standards. Option C, a full visible audit trail will be included. And option D, the implementation plan meets user requirements. And the correct option is option A, a clear business case has been established. When auditing the proposed acquisition of new computer hardware, the IS auditor primary concern is to ensure that the purchase is justified in terms of business needs, cost effectiveness, and alignment with organization goals. A clear business goal demonstrates the reason for acquisition, the expected benefits, cost benefit analysis, and risks and alternatives considered. Without a solid business case, the organization may invest in unnecessary, incompatible, or poorly justified hardware. Question number 7, to confirm the integrity of a hash or for a hashed message, the receiver should use option A, the same hashing algorithm as the senders to create a binary image of the file. Option B, a different hashing algorithm from the senders to create a numerical representation of the file. Option C, a different hashing algorithm from the senders to create a binary image of the file. And option D, the same hashing algorithms as the senders to create a numerical representation of the file. And the correct option is option D, to create using the same hashing algorithm as the senders to create a numerical representation of the file. And the explanation is, to confirm message integrity, the receiver must use the same hashing algorithm as the sender used. Hash the received message to generate a hash value, also called a message digest, which is a numerical representation. Compare this hash value with the original hash sent by the sender. If the two hash value matches, the message has not been altered in transit and its integrity is confirmed. Question number 8, an organization is implementing a new system that supports a month-end business process. Which of the following implementation strategies would be most efficient to decrease business downtime? And the options are option A, cutover, option B, phased, option C, pilot, and option D, parallel. The correct option is option A, cutover. Why is that? So the cutover strategy, also known as a big bang implementation, involves switching from the old system to the new system at a specific point in time, often during a period of low business activity such as a weekend or month-end downtime window. This strategy is the most efficient in terms of minimizing overall business downtime, especially for a system that is only used at specific intervals like month-end processing. Why not the other options? Option B, phased, introducing the system in stages, which can take longer and may not be ideal for a system only used at month end. Option C, pilot, rolls out to small group first, useful for testing but not necessarily efficient for reducing total downtime. And option D, parallel, runs old and new systems side by side, which minimizes risk but increases overhead and duration, which is not the most efficient option. Question number 9, which of the following should be the first step in managing the effect of a recently discovered zero-day attack? Option A, estimating potential damage. Option B, identifying vulnerable assets. Option C, evaluating the likelihood of attack. And option D, assessing the effect of vulnerabilities. And the correct option is option B, identifying the vulnerable assets. So when responding to a zero-day attack, an exploit for a vulnerability that is unknown to the vendor and has no immediate patch, the first and most critical step is to identify which systems or assets are vulnerable. This enables the organization to contain the risk by isolating affected systems, prioritize proactive actions, and begin remediation planning. Why not the other options? Option A, estimating potential damage is important, but you must know what is affected first. Option C, evaluating the likelihood of attack In a zero-day scenario, the threat is already present or imminent, so action must begin with identifying exposure. And option D, assessing the impact of vulnerabilities comes after you have identified where the vulnerabilities are. Question number 10, which of the following is the best way to ensure that an application is performing according to its specifications? Option A, pilot testing. Option B, system testing. Option C, integration testing. And option D, unit testing. And the correct option is option B, system testing. So system testing is the best way to ensure that an application is performing according to its specifications because it involves testing the entire application as a whole to verify that all components work together as intended, functional and non-functional requirements are met, and the application behaves correctly in a production-like environment. System testing is the final level of testing before acceptance and deployment, and it directly compares the application's performance against its original specifications. Question number 11, which of the following would be most effective to protect information assets in a data center from theft by a vendor? Option A, conceal data devices and information labels. Option B, issue an access code to the vendor. Option C, monitor and restrict vendor activities. And option D, restrict use of portable and wireless devices. And the correct option is option C, monitor and restrict vendor activities. So while other options provide some level of security, monitoring and restricting vendor activities directly address the risk of intentional or unintentional theft by ensuring vendors are only allowed in specific areas, their actions are supervised or logged, and unusual behavior can be detected and acted upon. Why not others? Option A, conceal data devices and information labels is helpful but passive and easily bypassed. Option B, issue an access card to the vendor, enables access but does not control what they do. And option D, restrict use of portable and wireless devices. It is useful but not sufficient on its own if vendor activities are not monitored. Question number 12, an employee loses a mobile device resulting in loss of sensitive corporate data. Which of the following would have best prevented data leakage? Option A, data encryption on the mobile device. Option B, the triggering of remote data wipe capabilities. Option C, awareness training for mobile device users. And option D, complex password policy for mobile devices. And the correct option is option A, data encryption on the mobile devices. So data encryption ensures that even if the device is lost or stolen, the data remains unreadable without the decryption key. It protects the data at rest, which is crucial when the device is no longer in your control. Why not the other options? Option B, remote data wipe is useful, but it only works if triggered before the data is accessed and if the device is online. Option C, awareness training helps reduce risk but does not technically prevent data leakage. And option D, complex password policy adds security but can still be bypassed, not as strong as full device encryption. Question number 13, during the evaluation of controls over a major application development project, the most effective use of an IS auditor's time would be to review and evaluate. Option A, cost benefit analysis. Option B, acceptance testing. Option C, application test cases. And option D, project plans. And the correct option is option B, acceptance testing. So acceptance testing is the final phase where the system is tested to ensure it meets business and security requirements before going live. Reviewing acceptance testing allows the auditor to verify that control objectives have been met and that the application will function securely and as intended in production environment. It is directly linked to evaluating whether the system is fit for use. Question number 14. Upon completion of audit work, an IS auditor should option A provide a report to the auditee stating the initial findings. Option B provide a report to senior management prior to discussion with the auditee. Option C distribute a summary of general findings to the members of the auditing team. And option D review the working papers with the auditee. And the correct option is option A provide a report to the auditee stating the initial findings. So upon completion of audit work, the initial findings should be communicated first to the auditee, that is, the people or department being audited. This allows the auditee to clarify, respond, or provide additional context before a final report is prepared for senior management. It ensures fairness and accuracy and it aligns with standard auditing practices. Why not the other options? Option B provide a report to senior management prior to discussion with the auditee. This skips a crucial step and could lead to miscommunication or inaccurate conclusions. Option C distribute a summary of general findings to the members of the auditing team. This may happen internally, but it's not the primary responsibility upon completion. And option D review the working papers with the auditee. Working papers are internal documents and are not typically shared with the auditee. Question number 15. During an IT general controls audit of a high risk area where both internal and external audit teams are reviewing the same area simultaneously, which of the following is the best approach to optimize resources? Option A leverage the work performed by external audit for the internal audit testing. Option B ensure both the internal and external auditor perform the work simultaneously. Option C roll forward the general controls audit to the subsequent audit year. And option D request that the external audit team leverage the internal audit work, user ID and password. And the correct option is option A leverage the work performed by internal audit for leverage the work performed by the external audit for the internal audit testing. Explanation: when both the internal and external auditors are reviewing the same high risk areas, coordinating efforts and leveraging each other's work helps avoid duplication, reduce audit fatigue on the auditee, and optimize time and cost. External audit work is often performed with a high standard of documentation and independence, making it reliable for internal audit reliance if properly evaluated. The Institute of Internal Auditor, that is IIA, and other standards bodies support such coordination for efficiency. Why not the other option? Option B ensure both auditors perform the work simultaneously. This leads to duplication of effort and is not resource efficient. Option C roll forward the audit to the next year. This would delay necessary controls testing in a high risk area which is not acceptable. And option D request external audit to use internal audit work. While possible, internal audit typically benefits more from leveraging external work due to higher assurance standards used by external auditors. Question number 16. The greatest benefit of using a prototyping approach in software development is that it helps to option A, improve efficiency of quality assurance testing. Option B, conceptualize and clarify document requirements. Option C, decrease the time allocated for user testing and review. And option D, minimize scope changes to the system. And the correct option is option B, conceptualize and clarify requirements. So prototyping allows users and developers to build a working model of the system early in the development process. This helps users visualize the functionality and refine their requirements, leading to a clearer understanding of what the final system should do. It reduces misunderstandings and aligns expectations between users and developers. Why not the others? Option A, improve efficiency of QA testing. Prototyping is not focused on quality assurance, it helps before testing. Option C, decrease the time allocated for user testing and review. Prototyping actually increases early user involvement, not reduce it. And option D, minimize scope changes. While it may reduce scope creep later, the main goal is requirements clarification, not scope control. Question number 17. After an employee termination, a network account was removed, but the application account remained active. To keep this issue from recurring, which of the following is the best recommendation? Option A, integrate application accounts with network single sign-on. Option B, perform periodic access reviews. Option C, retrain systems administration staff. And option D, leverage shared accounts for the application. And the correct option is option A, integrate application accounts with the network single sign-on. So single sign-on or SSO centralizes authentication. So when a user's network account is disabled or removed, their access to all integrated application is also revoked automatically. This reduces the risk of orphaned accounts, active application accounts after termination, and improves access control efficiency. It also helps enforce consistent account lifecycle management across systems. Why not the other option? Option B, perform periodic access review. It is useful, but it's reactive, not proactive. Orphaned accounts may still persist between reviews. Option C, retrain system administration staff. It may help in the short term but relies on human processes which are error prone. And option D, leverage shared account for the application. This reduces accountability and is a security risk, not a best practice. Question 18. During an IT governance audit, an IS auditor notes that IT policies and procedures are not regularly reviewed and updated. The greatest concern to the IS auditor is that policies and procedures might not. Option A, reflect current practices. Option B, be subject to adequate quality assurance. Option C, include new systems and corresponding process changes. And option D, incorporate changes to relevant laws. And the correct option is option D, incorporate changes to relevant laws. So compliance and legal risks. So outdated policies that fail to incorporate changes in laws, for example, GDPR, HIPAA, and SOX, expose the organization to regulatory fines, legal penalties, and reputational damage. Mandatory requirement, unlike internal process updates, which are important but organization specific, legal compliance is non negotiable and carries the highest risk. Auditors' primary duty. So, IS auditors must prioritize legal and regulatory compliance over operational efficiency or internal process alignment. Why not others? Option A, reflect current practices. So, while important, this is an operational risk rather than a legal or compliance risk. Option B, be subject to adequate QA. So while QA is an internal control issue but less critical than external legal obligation. And option C, include new systems and process changes. So this is a gap in governance, but unless it violates regulation, it is not as severe as non-compliance with laws. Question number 19. Management receives information indicating a high level of risk associated with potential flooding near the organization data center within the next few years. As a result, a decision has been made to move data center operations to another facility on higher ground. Which approach has been adopted? Option A, risk reduction. Option B, risk acceptance. Option C, risk transfer. And option D, risk avoidance. And the correct option is option C, option D, risk avoidance. So, risk avoidance involves eliminating the risk entirely by discontinuing the activity that causes it. In this case, moving the data center to a location on higher ground removes the flood risk altogether for that facility. The organization is choosing not to face the risk at all rather than managing or transferring it. One or the other. Option A, risk reduction. It would involve implementing flood defenses or mitigation measures, not relocating. Option B, risk acceptance, means acknowledging the risk and doing nothing about it. Option C, risk transfer. It would involve shifting the risk to a third party like buying insurance. So, relocating the data center to avoid flooding is a clear case of eliminating the risk, classic risk avoidance. Question number 20. An emergency power off switch should option A, not be in the computer room. Option B, not be identified. Option C, be protected. And option D, be illuminated. And the correct option is option C, be protected. So an emergency power off, that is EPO switch, should be protected to prevent accidental activation which could cause a sudden shutdown of critical systems and potential data loss or hardware damage. Protection typically includes a cover or guard over the switch. Why not the other option? Option A, not be in the computer room, is incorrect. It must be accessible, usually inside or just outside the room. Option B, not be identified, is also incorrect. It must be clearly labeled so personnel can find and use it quickly in an emergency. And option D, be illuminated, not necessarily. While visibility is important, protection from accidental use is a higher priority. So, protecting the emergency power off switch ensures it's available in emergencies but not triggered unintentionally. Question number 21. IS management has decided to rewrite a legacy customer relation system using fourth generation languages, that is 4GLs. Which of the following risk is most often associated with system development using 4GLs? Option A, inadequate screen/report design facilities. Option B, complex programming language subsets. Option C, lack of portability across operating systems. And option D, inability to perform data intensive operations. And the correct option is option D, inability to perform data intensive operations. So fourth generation languages or 4GLs are designed to be more user-friendly and allow for faster development compared to traditional programming languages. However, their main limitation is performance, particularly with data-intensive operation, for example, complex processing of large datasets. 4GLs often abstract away low-level optimization, which can lead to inefficiency in scenarios requiring high performance or heavy data manipulation. Why not others? Option A, inadequate screen/report design facilities. So fourth generation languages usually excel in this area with built-in tools for GUI and report creation. Option B, complex programming language subsets. So 4GLs are designed to be simpler, not more complex than traditional languages like C or Java. Option C, lack of portability across operating systems. So while some 4GLs may have limitations, portability is not their most common issue compared to performance. Bottom line, fourth generation languages prioritize speed and ease of development, but they often struggle with performance in data heavy applications. Question number 22, which of the following would be the best method for ensuring that critical fields in a master record have been updated properly? Option A, field checks. Option B, control totals. Option C, reasonableness checks. And option D, a before and after maintenance report. And the correct option is option D, a before and after maintenance report. So a before and after maintenance report shows the original, that is before, and updated, that is later, that is after values of critical fields in master record. This allows for verification and auditing of changes to ensure they were intentional, authorized, and correct. It's especially useful in detecting unauthorized or incorrect modifications to critical data, for example, salary, vendor bank accounts, customer credit limits. Why not the others? Option A, field checks ensure data is entered in the correct format, for example, numeric only, but they don't confirm whether changes were made correctly. Option B, control totals, typically used to verify the completeness of data processing, not the accuracy of individual field updates. And option C, reasonableness checks, validate whether a value is within expected parameters but don't track changes to records. So before and after reports provide a clear audit trail for critical data changes, which is essential for control and accountability. Question number 23, which of the following is a dynamic analysis tool for testing software modules? Option A, black box test. Option B, test checking. Option C, structured walkthrough. And option D, design and code. And the correct option is option A, black box test. So dynamic analysis tools are used to test software by executing code and observing its behavior during runtime. Black box test is a dynamic testing method where the tester evaluates the functionality of the software without knowing the internal code or logic. It checks input-output behavior to verify if the software meets the requirements. Why not the other? Test checking is a static analysis technique where the developer manually reviews the code without execution. We can say this is a white box testing. Structure walkthrough, also a static method, involves a peer review of the logic or design, not the actual execution. Design and code refers to phases in software development and not a testing tool or method. So black box testing is a practical dynamic method that ensures software functions as expected from a user's perspective. Question number 24, which of the following is most likely to result from a business process engineering, that is BPR project? Option A, an increased number of people using technology. Option B, significant cost savings through a reduction in the complexity of information technology. Option C, weaker organizational structures and less accountability. And option D, increased information protection, risk will increase. And the correct option is option A, an number of people using technology. So business process re-engineering aims to redesign business processes for dramatic improvement in productivity, efficiency, and service. This typically involves automating manual tasks, eliminating redundancies, and leveraging IT solutions, resulting in more people interacting with or relying on technology to perform their roles. Why not the others? Option B, significant cost savings through a reduction in the complexity of information technology. So BPR often increases IT complexity due to the integration of new systems and automation. Option C, weaker organizational structures and less accountability. BPR tends to aim for stronger processes with clear accountability, not less. And option D, increased information protection risk will increase. So while BPR may introduce new risks, managing them is part of the re-engineering process. It's not the primary outcome of BPR. So BPR usually leads to more tech-driven workflow requiring broader adoption of technology across the organization. Question number 25. Which of the following devices extend the network and has the capacity to store frames and acts as a storage and forward device? And the options are option A, router, option B, bridge, option C, repeater, and option D, gateway. And the correct option is option B, bridge. So a bridge is a data link layer that is layer 2 device that connects and filters traffic between two network segments. It can store frames in memory and use a store and forward technique, meaning it reads the entire data frame, checks for errors, and then forwards it to the appropriate segment. This helps reduce collision and extend the network efficiently. Why not the others? Option A, router. Router operates at layer 3, that is network layer, and routes packets between networks, not frames. It's not primarily a store and forward device for frames. Option C, repeaters. Repeater operates at layer 1, that is physical layer, and simply regenerates and forwards signal. It does not store frames. Option D, gateway. Gateway functions as a multiple layers functions at multiple layers, often used to translate protocols between different networks. It is more complex and not typically used for basic store and forward tasks. So bridge intelligently forwards frame based on MAC addresses and improve network segmentation using store and forward logic. Question number 26. Which of the following is a benefit of using callback devices? Option A, provide an audit trail. Option B, can be used in a switchboard environment. Option C, permit unlimited user mobility. And option D, allow call forwarding. And the correct option is option A, provide an audit trail. Callback devices enhances security by disconnecting a user's initial connection request and calling them back at a pre-authorized number. This creates a recorded controlled access point which serves as an audit trail, allowing organizations to track and verify access attempts. Why not the others? Option B, can be used in a switchboard environment. Not typically. Callback devices require direct lines for security reasons, not shared switchboards. Option C, permit unlimited user mobility. No, they limit mobility because the callback is made to be predefined phone numbers only. Option D, allow call forwarding. So callback devices typically disable call forwarding to prevent security circumvention. Callback devices are primarily used for secure remote access and leave behind a clear audit trail of connection attempts. Question number 27. Which of the following data validation edits is effective in detecting transposition and transcription errors? Option A, range checks. Option B, check digit. Option C, validity check. And option D, duplicate check. The correct option is option B, check digit. So a check digit is a form of redundancy check used to detect data entry errors, particularly transposition, that is 67 versus 76, and transcription errors. It is a digit added to a number, for example, account number or product code, that is calculating using a specific algorithm, for example, modulus 10. When the number is entered, the system recalculates the check digit and compares it with the entered one to ensure accuracy. Why not the others? Option A, range check ensures a value falls within a specific range but does not detect data entry swaps or typos. Option C, validity check confirms whether data conforms to a predefined format or list but may not catch digit swaps. Option D, duplicate check detects repeated entries but not swapped or mistyped digits. So check digits are a proven way to catch common data entry mistakes and enhance data integrity. Question number 28. An offsite information processing facility with electrical wiring, air conditioning, and flooring, but no computer or communication equipment is A. Option A, cold site. Option B, warm site. Option C, dial-up site. And option D, duplicate processing facility. And the correct option is option A, cold site. So a cold site is an off-site facility that is partially prepared for IT disaster recovery. It typically includes basic infrastructure like electrical wiring, HVAC, that is heated ventilation and air conditioning, and raised flooring, but it does not contain computers, servers, or communication equipment. Organization must bring in or install the necessary hardware and software before the site can be used, which takes time. Why not the others? Option B, warm site has some computing equipment and network connectivity already in place, faster to activate than a cold site. Option C, dial-up site, not a standard term in disaster recovery classifications. And option D, duplicate processing facility, also known as a hot site, is a fully equipped facility that can take over operations immediately. Cold sites are cost-effective backup options but require significant setup time before use. Question number 29. The most significant level of effort for business continuity planning generally is required during the option A, testing phase, option B, evaluation stage, option C, maintenance stage, and option D, early stages of planning. And the correct option is option D, early stages of planning. So the early stages of planning in business continuity BCP requires the most significant level of effort because they involve business impact analysis, that is identifying critical business functions and the impact of disruptions, risk assessment, that is evaluating threats, and vulnerabilities. Strategy development, that is designing recovery strategies based on risk and impact findings. Resource allocation and planning, that is setting the foundation for all future BCP activities. These steps are labor intensive and require extensive input from across the organization to ensure BCP is realistic and effective. Question number 30. Which of the following network configuration options contain a direct link between any two host machines? Option A, bus. Option B, ring. Option C, star. And option D, completely connected, that is mesh. Correct option is mesh or completely connected. So in a completely connected network, also known as full mesh, every host or node is directly connected to every other host. This provides higher redundancy, fault tolerance, and direct communication between any two machines without, inter- without intermediaries. However, it is expensive and complex to implement due to the number of links required. Why not the others? First, all nodes share a single communication line, no direct link between individual pairs. Ring, each node connects to exactly two others in a circular fashion. Data must pass through intermediate nodes. And star, all nodes connect to a central hub or switch, not directly to each other. So a fully connected mesh ensures direct pass between all hosts, making it the most robust but resource intensive topology.